Essential Vibes, here giving you the temperature of the cosmos as always. Hey, it's your girl Foul Pal, here to give you the temperature of the cosmos as always. And I'm the CEO of Essential Vibes. And today we're going to be talking about the rising energy. So, what's a rising sign or what's rising energy in your birth chart, you ask? All right, so your rising sign is more so on your past life energy. It's the energy that you come into this earth with, so to speak. Depending on the degree, each planet has a degree, depending on what sign it's in. So your rising sign, it is calculated by the hour. So just like the moon sign, when we talked about the moon being in a certain phase the day you were born, so that also ties into the exact hour you were born. So each sign changes each hour, and making your rising sign being what it is. So for example, my rising sign is Sagittarius and 29 degrees. So that's just an example. And the only way to determine your rising sign is by knowing the exact time that you were born. If you don't know the time that you were born, you won't really be able to figure out what your rising sign is. And also, you won't really know the placements of your houses, which is also important. Your houses goes into certain phases in your life that goes into more detail than the planets and the sun and the moon does. So it's very important to know your rising, know the time that you were born, and to know your rising sign energy. And knowing that placement kind of sets the tone for your house placements. So we're going to start off with Aries. So Aries energy. It's definitely very charming. It represents spring, the beginning of something. But that part being in your rising energy, you come into this world being, you may come into this world with a very fiery mission. You may come into this world with a lot to do, or you feeling like you have a lot to accomplish, or that you can accomplish so much. Depending on your sun placement or your moon placement or any of your other aspects inside of your chart, it may, that energy may die down depending on the certain time framing in your life. More about the Aries rising. It's like your shadow energy is kind of like the sabotager. So it's kind of like Aries energy is all about, chaos, tearing something down to build it up. So you're probably the type of person who comes into this world who comes, and you may come off as a destructive person, Some people may not look at that as a positive thing, but it can be a positive thing when change needs to be implemented. So you may be a leader when it comes down to, how to, let something go, how to release something, or how to get rid of something, how to have a fresh start. Fire is a purifier. It has to burn out so you can be able to build on top of it after, you have ashes left of it, More about that Aries energy is ruled by Mars. So Mars is about war and business. Mars is about your emotion. It's like a very aggressive or very passionate type of energy. And you're very diplomatic. You can be very artistic, and those who like to negotiate and resolve certain things, you're very solution oriented if you have a Aries placement. If that is your rising sign, you come into this world with a very strong mission. You come into this world ready to really start and conquer the world. You have that energy to be able to do that. So that's, if your Aries sign, if your rising sign is in Aries. And next, we're going to get into your rising sign being in Taurus. So when your rising sign is in Taurus, this is more of a sensing of self. This is more of knowing yourself on a more material realm. This is also an energy of mystiqueness and composure and symmetry. This is also a sign that is ruled by Venus. So it's all about beauty. It's all about love. It's about that sense of comfort to a degree. It's a very feminine sign, a very feminine and soft placement. So if your rising sign is Taurus, you probably come off as a very soft and gentle person. You may come off as a person who may not be that quick to change either, because Taurus is a fixed sign. It's also a very indulgent sign. Taurus can be overindulgent in certain things, in certain material things. You like the finer things in life. You love materialistic things. You love things that make your home comfortable and beautiful. You like seeing beauty. Venus energy is also about, the beauty and how you set your home up, the decor, the things that you wear, the car that you drive. So you may see a lot of Taurus rising people who are naturally successful in this day and time. You may see those are the type of people who, take pride in their possessions. They take pride in the things that they have on a material realm. They're very lucky when it comes down to that, depending on the degree, depending on the lessons that you have to learn, and how it also conjoins with your sun sign, your moon sign, and the other planets and your other placements inside of your chart. Also, they appreciate the beauty of life and the knowledge that it radiates. You guys are, seekers of how to be successful and how to make things beautiful, how to make things comfortable. You guys may be into interior design. You guys may be the type of people who love to cook, who love to make your food beautiful, Some more things about Taurus rising sign is you guys may invoke, challenges. You guys invoke people to, dig deep emotionally. You guys may be the type of people who can get a reaction out of people with your words and make people think on a deeper level. You guys are also the type of people who invoke temptation. And that's why I said you guys may be involved in a lot of indulgence when it comes to the material realm. So that's pretty much it about Taurus rising. And next we're going to get into your rising sign being in Gemini. So with your rising sign being in Gemini, you automatically come into this world with the gift of creativity. You impose a childlike energy, and you also possess having a means to communicate. You come into this world with a lot to say, depending on the degree of your rising sign. And also depends on your moon sign and your sun sign as well, and how that also conjuncts and how that works together. Also, the Gemini energy is ruled by Mercury, which is why you come into this world with more of a communicative sense of energy, where you feel like you have a lot to say or you have a message to get across. You can be very talkative. You can also be very mysterious. You may keep certain things to yourself because you impose and you have so much information that you come into this world with. So it can be kind of uncomfortable with sharing some of your thoughts. So you have to find creative, strategic ways to get the message across. But when you guys do, you guys create magic. You're a very magical being. And also when you have a Gemini rising, you have the gift of broadcasting. You also have the gift of being able to reach large crowds. You guys are responsible for being messengers. So throughout your lifetime, you figure out very creative ways to reach the masses. You guys have a gift in that, whether we like it or we don't, such as our President Trump, who's also a Gemini. He's a messenger nevertheless, but, he's very responsible for delivering that message, whether we believe in it. But it also gets us to think outside of the box. It gets us to think outside of our own minds to be able to connect on a creative level as a mass, as a whole, because we all possess and we hold certain knowledge and certain information that are kindred. So Geminis are very good. Gemini risings are coming to this world with that gift automatically. And that's pretty much it about Gemini rising. And next we're going to get into Cancer rising. Your placement being as a Cancer rising, you are ruled by the moon. So it's all, you come into this world feeling everything. depending on the degree, as I always disclaim. So this is all about softness and feminine energy. This is the crescent moon smile. That crescent moon smile, it represents, the rising sign being in Cancer. That's how beautiful that is. You come off with a very nurturing, mothering, soft. You are a safe space for divine feminine energy. You are coming to this world naturally, even born into it, and then so forth after that. You're more so creating that safe space for people to heal, for people to have comfort, for people to have that nourishing, mothering energy that Cancer provides. Cancer is also ruled by the moon. So having that as your rising sign and your past life energy, you come into this world a natural nurturer. You come into this world wanting to love and loving children, having a deep connection with children, more so than most will probably have if they had a Cancer placement. But you already come into this world knowing and having, because it's your rising energy. And like I said, it all depends on the degree of your rising sign as well. Also, the Cancer rising possess security, someone who understands shyness. So you may be the type of person who can get through to the shy person in the room. The shy person in the room may come and confide within you more so than anybody else. You create that safe space. You are born into that safe space, and you possess that safe space, and you yearn that safe space during this lifetime. And another thing about Cancer rising, it's about feminine power. You may come into this world possessing feminine power, feminine energy, and advocating for feminine energy. You may have a job in nursing, or you may be seeking a job in nursing or childbirth, or being a doula. Anything into that nature. Definitely beautiful Yemoja type of energy that you possess when you have a rising sign in Cancer. And next, we're going to get into your rising sign being Leo. So with your rising sign being Leo, you're naturally very regal. You're very majestic. So the rising sign also ties into your features. So you guys' features is all about the eyes. You guys maybe have very pretty hair, big hair. You guys are all about the majestic energy. You guys are ruled by the sun. Leo is ruled by the sun. So that placement being in your rising, you're naturally a ray of sunshine. You come across as a leader. You come off as a person who is naturally in the spotlight, who loves to be in the spotlight, who loves to be the light within the darkness. So your task here is to fight against darkness. Your task here is to bring order through divine light. So with that being said, through your actions, through your work, you're very courageous. You're the type of person who take initiative. You're the type of person who walks into your light with faith and with courage, and you encourage other people around you to do the same thing. So you also possess an energy to be very loyal, to advocate loyalty. You also you may become off kind of possessive when it comes down to it. You're a very fixed energy too, so you don't really switch out your pack. You don't switch out your friendships. So you may come into this world with an abundance of siblings and family members. So you're already a part of a family or a group, or you create that. When you come into this world yearning to create that. So what else can we say about Leo rising? So you're attracted to unusual and eccentric type of shows that may be comfortable with your individuality. So you take pride in being who you are. You take pride in being your true, authentic self. That's actually what makes you very successful. That's what makes you lovable. That's why people admire you. You take pride in that. If it's out of character and if it's out of the things that you do authentically, you might not advocate towards it so much. You are definitely a person who is a leader. You're a person who takes pride in your individuality. You can't be easily swayed to do something that is outside of what you are destined to do in this world. And you also advocate that, and you display that to other people in this world as well. So big kudos to the Leo rising. It's a very mighty sign, very awesome placement to have, very courageous, very prideful, could be kind of egotistic, but it's nothing wrong with having a little ego. It's all about balance. So that's pretty much it about the Leo rising. And next we're going to get into your rising sign being in Virgo. So the Virgo energy is also ruled by Mercury, just like Gemini. So it's very youthful when it comes to the features. You're a very youthful person. You may tend to have like a bigger type forehead to hold all those thoughts because you're very analytical. So you come into this world possessing the energy of a mentor or an advisor. So you may come into this world very wise. You may come into this world being able to or yearning the means to connect with oneself. You may to interact with the messages that the divine has already created within you. So it's for you to discover those things within yourself. Also, Virgo rising has countless messages to deliver. Also here to use the medium of air to broadcast their messages, to be able to deliver those messages. So they know how to create a flow of operation. So if you're a Virgo rising, you may come into this world, with the skills to be able to be a producer, to be able to give productivity, to be able to delegate things, to be behind the scenes and make sure that the flow of operations are how it needs to be. Very meticulous. You come into this world with a very broad and detailed type of wisdom. It may be unheard of. You come into this world with a lot of knowledge, kind of like the Gemini, when you have a lot of messages, but it's kind of more of in more of your actions, more so of your words. You're more about your work. You take pride into industry. You take pride into the task that you give yourself. Virgo energy loves to fix, loves to be productive, love to work on certain things. But that being your rising sign, you also come into this world, depending on the degree, you come into this world wanting to or having the means to fix certain situations, having the means to be able to have solutions for things. And you may be wise beyond your years. You come into this world possessing what they call the old soul. So Virgo energy may come into this world already knowing how things should go and how things should operate, and encouraging and helping other people. Children and elders are the closest things to God. So if a child come to you and tell you what it is, you may want to listen. So if your child has a Virgo rising, you definitely want to listen to their wisdom when it comes down to the energy that they possess. They are also really good at, inspiring. They're really good at encouraging and advising. They may come with some real common sense. You may not like how the message come across, and you may be like, little girl, little boy, what you know all about this? But it's some truth to it, So Virgo energy, having a Virgo rising, could be pretty cool. They're like rescuers. They take care of animals. They take care of people. They're another type of energy that is kind of mothering, kind of like the Cancer energy, where they create a safe space for people who, need to learn about themselves when it comes to their mental health. So Virgo energy, having that Virgo rising placement is very, very awesome. You guys are like healers and nurses as well too. So depending on your sun sign, depending on your moon sign, that may be a career choice for you, or you may come into this world thinking that that's what your career should be, is to help people and to fix people or animals. And next, we're going to get into your rising sign being in Libra. So the Libra energy is definitely it's an air sign. It's also ruled by Venus like Taurus. So it's about beauty. It's definitely about mystique and composure. Definitely a female type of energy, definitely very feminine, here to definitely express about beauty and what that looks like. And it radiates the knowledge of beauty and where that comes from and how true beauty lies. You may come into this world, having the urge to do makeup or to also do interior design or to, put things together and make things beautiful, make things pretty, make things presentable, adding flowers to the scene. You are also another mentor type energy, you have a lot of knowledge. Very good friends. They definitely, when you come to this world, you come into this world with feeling the need to have people around you. You take your relationships very seriously during this lifetime. Depending on your degree, you may come into this world with the yearning of having friends or people pleasing or having a lot of different social groups, not really having your own identity. So, because it's opposite of Aries. Aries energy is all about self-identity, but Libra energy is all about that collective identity, that collective energy. So you may be the type of person that takes pride into your social groups and your friendships and your relationships. You may come into this world thinking that that's the center of your world, depending on the degree of that placement. Also, a little bit more about the Libra rising. It's very attractive, very lively. The appearances is more like you may, if you are a Libra rising, you may be a very, very attractive person in the eye of somebody who's kind of superficial, somebody who may be a little shallow. You may be a little shallow, or you may teach about the level of shallowness and finding inner beauty within yourself. So Libra energy is all about beauty. It's all about relationships. It's all about commitments and things of that nature. So if you're a Libra rising, you may be a makeup artist. You may be the person who's in charge of having the social groups who are very good with getting people together and getting the right people in the room together. So you come into this energy, you come into this world with the energy and a sense of knowledge when it comes to relationships and when it comes to the beauty and the finer things in life. So that's about Libra rising energy. And next we're going to talk about your rising sign being in Scorpio. So when your rising sign is Scorpio, you're a very mystique type of person. Your eyes, it's like darkness behind the eyes. It's always something mystique and something different about you. You may have thick hair, you may have a sharp nose, and the positive about that is that you are like the wounded healer. Some of the shadow energy about that is you can be the toxic destroyer. So you guys are all about comfort and finding a safe space for people to heal. You guys are definitely about transformation, especially when it comes to life and death. When you feel like you've been violated, you guys are a safe keeper for those who have been violated. You guys are over sex and intimacy. So you guys, Scorpio is ruled over the 8th house. So it is about sex and intimacy. So you guys may be healers, or you may have experienced a lot of traumatic experiences in your past lifetime. Definitely secret holders. You guys hold on to sacred knowledge. You guys are the opposite of Taurus. So the Taurus possesses over the material realm, and Scorpio possesses over the spiritual realm. So Scorpio is definitely very spiritual, very deep, very in depth. It can also be, attract very grounded people. Scorpio is also a water sign, so it can be very intuitive, can feel most things. You probably come into this world with a sense of heaviness. You may come into this world knowing a lot of sacred knowledge. You may come into this world understanding life and death better than anybody else who can even explain it. You may not be able to explain it depending on the degree of that. You may have to walk into that light and walk into that truth. You may come into this lifetime dealing with a lot of traumatic experiences, when it comes to trauma. And also you guys are also the catalyst for healing for that, because you have that knowledge. So you guys attract money and prestige. You guys are so powerful when it comes to the spiritual realm that certain things kind of just work out for you on a materialistic realm. Also, you guys are like the queen and the kings of the underworld. I call you guys the sea monsters, that Scorpio energy, because it's all about the darkness. But there's nothing to be afraid of when it comes to the dark. There's a lot of sacred knowledge in the dark, that has yet to come to light. But because you guys are in that energy, you guys dwell in that energy, Scorpio energy is very compassionate, very intimate. It can be very loving and nurturing in its own way. And that's just my interpretation of it. A lot of people may think that Cancer energy is more so nourishing, but Scorpio can also, because it's a water sign, kind of like Pisces, it can also be replenishing. It holds memory. Water energy is all about, holding that knowledge. Like I said about Aquarius. Aquarius energy is the water bearer. So Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, that water energy is very intuitive, very feminine. It flows how it needs to flow, whether you like it or you don't like it. It is. We don't like death. We don't like the concept of it, but it's a part of who we are. It's a part of what makes us be the strong beings that we are, so we can metamorphose into a phoenix. We rise like the phoenix. Scorpio energy is all about that phoenix energy as well. So that's pretty much it about the Scorpio placement being as your rising sign. Next, we're going to get into your rising sign being in Sagittarius. So with your rising sign being in Sagittarius, you're definitely like a broad projection of what everyday life looks like, whatever that looks like for you. You are more of it's like all about the internal paradigm. You're all about expansion though. But it being your rising sign, you kind of can be an escapist. You can be the type of person that kind of run away from responsibilities or run away from your purpose. Your Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, so it's definitely all about an expansion, about higher knowledge, about higher growth. You're actually brought into this world to teach. You're brought in this world to be a guru. You are brought into this world to be a conversationalist. You attract intellectual, like-minded people. You also are about, expanding those patterns and those sequences in your life and in other people's lives to be able to make things great. You have a lot of energy within you. You have a lot of knowledge within you. So it's very expansive. It's very disciplined. During this lifetime, you're going to learn discipline. You're going to learn the flow of operations of certain things so you can be able to expel that higher knowledge. So as a Sag rising, you have a lot of responsibility when it comes to how you deliver the message. You have to, you come into this lifetime learning to be a great student so you can be an awesome teacher. You're very humble. You come into this world with a lot of knowledge, kind of similar to the Gemini and the Virgo type of energy, but it's a certain seriousness that you come into this world with as well. But it can be very amazing. It's very lucky. It's astonishing. You may have come into this world as a child too, who may come here delivering messages and saying certain things or having a certain knowledge of things that some of the adults is like, how did that child know this information? And you come into this world being kind of like the guru energy. You come into this world spreading higher knowledge and seeking higher knowledge. You are the type of person who challenges certain people and certain things. Sagittarius is also a fire element. So it's another purifier when it comes to information, when it comes to the belief system, when it comes to what you should believe and why you believe it. So Sagittarius is a very, very interesting placement to have as a rising sign, but it's very rewarding, very lucky. Like I said, you come into this world with the higher knowledge, or you come into this world with a destiny of having that higher knowledge disposed to you so you can be able to teach and guide other people in this lifetime. And next, we're going to get into Capricorn rising. So when you have a placement of the Capricorn rising, you come into this earth with a level of seriousness as well. You are kind of like the fairy godmother or the tyrant. Your sign is Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is why I said it's a very serious placement. You kind of come into this world as an alchemist, You're really good with making potions. You're really good. You're another one who is known to be like an old soul. you have like that grandmother type of feel. You may not be the type of kid that want to hang out with the other kids. When you were born or when you were a child, you was like, I want to hang with the adults. I want to be around the more serious stuff because the kids don't have anything to talk about. So you're here to develop a profound and significant wisdom in the face of adversity. So that's very important. So you're very good with structure. So you are serious for a reason. You come into this world with a sense of purpose because you understand that there's structure that's needed. And all the other signs has its glitches and its, praises. But at the same time, Capricorn is kind of like, it comes into this world with a responsibility of, we got to get to it. We have to, be serious about what the structure is. And that also depends on the degree. And it also depends on what your sun and your moon sign is. You may not be that serious later on in your life, or you may not be that serious in your childlike self. So also, you're capable of reaching the threshold of human experiences. You're all about intimacy and divinity. You're encouraged. It's like, okay, we're good with the good stuff. We're good with the fun stuff, but let's add a little bit of structure to it. Let's be on task. Let's be task oriented. So when you were a kid, a lot of people were probably like, oh my God, why is that person so serious? We just want to have fun. And you probably was the person in the room that's like, but we really got stuff to do. So, Capricorn rising is a very intense placement. You do come into this world with a level of seriousness, but it's very necessary. It's very necessary for people like you in this world because, let's be real. It's a lot of stuff. Like we have a lot of people during this who were born in like 1991 and between 89 and maybe 1994 who has that Capricorn energy. We come into this world because of what we come from. So you're very needed during this time. Those who have that placement in Capricorn as a rising sign, you're needed. We need people like you on the front line because that structure is what we need to be able to do the recreational things that we want to do habitually. We don't have any structure to it. It won't be the way that it needs to be. We won't enjoy it the way that we can fully enjoy it. And that's your rising placement being Capricorn. And next, we're going to get into your rising sign being in Aquarius. So when you have the rising sign of Aquarius, you come into this world with being a rebel. You come into this world with being a free spirit, a free thinker. I would say the duality of that is, the free spirit versus the rebel. I say you guys are like a rebel with no cause. It really is a cause, but you guys are the people who break boundaries or barriers, I should say. You break barriers to live the human experience fully. You're all about humanitarian actions. You come into this world wanting to break barriers and wanting to revolutionize certain things that you don't think is right. You guys are freedom fighters. You guys are always seeking justice, kind of similar to the Libra energy. You guys are air energy ruled by Saturn. Also, Capricorn is also ruled by Saturn as well. And Saturn energy is all about the father energy. It's about that structure. It's about that essence and how your father would teach you your lessons throughout your life, So yeah, the Capricorn can be very serious, but the Aquarian is like the parent that allows the child to go out there and experience the world so they can have it for themselves, so they can have that experience for themselves. They say the best teacher is experience, and Aquarius energy embodies that full force. You guys are the ones who are thinking for yourselves. You are great initiators. You're trendsetters. You are the type of person that has to rock to the beat of your own drum. You don't really need anybody else to follow. You like to follow your own suit and follow your own realm, kind of similar to the Leo energy. The Leo is all about, I have the pack. The opposite of that is Aquarius is I'm one band, one sound, and we're all one. That's what that energy is very similar to. Other things about the Aquarius. So some of your tasks here, Some of your tasks here in this on this universe with your rising sign being Aquarius is you're here to develop a profound and significant wisdom in the face of adversity. So once again, that's breaking those barriers and living that human experience without unapologetically, doing it without any explanation. You do it because you want to do it and it's your soul's purpose to do it. So you guys are also great leaders. You definitely come into this world with that knowledge. Once again, the disclaimer depends on the degree of that, whether that pans out in the beginning of your life, it may pan out to the end of your lifespan. You may be that person depending on the degree. And that's it about Aquarius energy being as a rising sign. And lastly, we're going to talk about Pisces rising. So when you come into this world and you have a Pisces rising, you're actually also another feminine type energy, very spiritual. You come into this world with a lot of sacred knowledge. You may be very devoted to your spiritual life when you come into this world. You're here to help purify and help those who are dealing with any type of suffering when it comes to anything on the spiritual realm. Pisces energy is also ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So those are both spiritual planets. Neptune is all about, the unknown. It's all about the things that you don't see on the surface. It is very, very, very spiritual, very, very high knowledge. So Pisces, Sagittarius are like one of the two very spiritual signs out of the zodiac. So having that as a rising sign is, like I said, you come into this world already spiritually heightened. You come into this world with a level of spiritual awareness. You also are able to help others around you with your spiritual knowledge. Another thing about Pisces, their eyes, when it comes to the features, their eyes are more like water-like, very dreamy-like, very daisy-like. And some of the shadow energy is being very aloof, not really having any concept of time on this plane. You could easily miss certain details that the material world would like you to pay attention to. But, you have this spiritual awareness where you kind of flow how you need to flow in order to get the messages across. And it can be a little supernatural. Some people are not in tune in that way. So having a Pisces rising, it can be kind of difficult to relate to certain people who are very materialistic, those who are connected to the material world. So when you have a Pisces rising, that's another guru type of energy. You may come into this world being able to heal people. You may come into this world with being able to heal people with your words, with your hands. You may be able to give a certain type of spiritual connection to also, just like I said, coming to this world with a level of spiritual awareness when it comes to the unknown, when it comes to afterlife. Pisces, Scorpio energy, and also Cancer and energy may relate on that aspect because all three of those signs are water energy. So that's pretty much it about Pisces being as a rising sign, and those are all of the the placements of your rising sign from Aries to Pisces, you guys. I hope this information gave you a little bit more insight about your physical appearance and about your past life energy, about the energy that you came into this world with. Peace.